Hey, everybody. How's it going? And there's Ace. What's
Good
up?
morning.
Good morning. What's up? What are you doing? What's new? How's life in the fast lane? Hey, we both got the memo. We're both wearing black. So we changed the plan, you guys. There was a flight plan, and now there's just a start. And I've pasted that also into YouTube. Hello there, YouTube. Those who join in and come along with us, let's go fly. And we're taking a look at the new scenery that came out recently. It's the World Update. I think it's Update 14, is it?
19.
19, X, 1X or something like that. Do you guys remember your Roman numerals from school? Is it X1X? I don't know. Anyway, it's talk about fun. It's going to be lots of interesting stuff here in Rio. As some of you know, there were Olympic Games down here somewhere, probably right in Rio. There was also movies out too. Wasn't there a Rio movie with animated movie? There's all kinds of stuff going on here. But just take a look at this place where we're starting anyway. We'll see what this looks like. I think it's a very well detailed airport. It certainly looks like it's had a lot of attention to detail. We'll have a look here as everybody gathers, getting ready to go. We'll just have a look at what's around here.
Oh, maybe I bumped my camera off the screen, but I guess Andrew's over there a bit too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that changed now? That because of... Well, I know what it was. Andrew's camera was way off and I had to adjust the screen, but let's see what Andrew looks like. No, he's framed, you're framed. Okay. So then I just have to move it around again. Bring you back. Or is it mine? It looks like mine's over too far. Yeah, things have changed. Yeah, I was trying to play around with that, what did you call it? Transposing, I think it was? Didn't work.
Transformation,
Yeah.
copying and pasting.
Yeah. Didn't work. Probably have to have a certain
Really?
version or something, yeah. Yeah, I kept playing. I spent half an hour. I said, that's enough of that. I only have so much patience for stuff like that. If it isn't intuitive, then it's not going to happen. All right, that should be better. I framed you, I pulled you over more, I pulled me back more. That should be okay. Let's just see what it looks like on Andrew's screen. Oh, that looks okay. Good. I'm still over too far, but that's okay. And I think I'll play some more with transformations later and see how it goes. Let's move that over there. There we go. All right. Back to main. Let's go see what Ace is up to. And that's his screen. Okay.
That's my wallpaper.
That's your wallpaper. Okay. All right. So just so everybody can see, is there a planner link? A planner link. Well, there was a flight plan. Just pull in the flight plan. But today we're not doing a flight plan. We stopped it about 2 minutes ago, and we're just going to start at one airport. Oh, solar panels. That's what those are. So not using planner files. We're just using Little M Map, make a PLN. It loads into both sims. We're trying to keep it easy for everybody. Mike, how come I don't see your plane? Don't tell me it's going to be like that today. I see your name. Are you inside that?
I'm just now loading in.
Oh, you're in here somewhere. I know. You're in here. That's a nice view. I know you hate these views, right? Because you've seen them a million times. I know the feeling.
I have a penny for every one.
So see, we can actually travel through them if I could use my controller properly, and go right into the terminal. Look, we should have the echo announcements coming. You know, now boarding. Mic audio's playing. Look out. Yeah, what's with the planes lately, you guys? Another engine fire, and people had to get out on the wing. Where was that? That was here somewhere.
Denver.
Was it Denver?
Mm-hmm.
What's with that? I saw, oh, there it is. I saw a tall ship somewhere. A multi-masker. We're winging it today, Srap says. Absolutely. We're winging it, you guys. Winging it. Ooh, barbed wire and everything. Now, the attention to detail here is something else. I was coming over to look at the boat. And what a gorgeous looking thing that is. But I noticed there's another terminal over here on this little island area. Maybe this is the... I was going to say maybe it's the water drone, but maybe not. Oh, got some type of soccer pitch or something. No, I don't see any planes over here. It's just a port, I guess. Huh. All right, right beside the airport. So I thought maybe that would be for float planes, but maybe not. So as you can see, everybody, where we're gathering here, this is where everybody's gathering right now. Come on down to the runway where you see me, right here, and we shall start from there and look around. If you want to use a helicopter, you guys, it would be perfect for this area because there's a lot to see. We're going to fly by a lot of stuff real fast. So you might want to grab something that hovers, which I was going to do, but there's enough water around that I'll just use a float plane. But take a look at the POIs. I guess what I'm seeing so far is only helicopters. Why is that? Helicopter or heliports. What happened to all the other POIs? I can turn them on or off. But wow, you ever thought there'd be so many heliports inside the city itself? So we could do a helicopter flight, you guys, for the morning, and we could have everybody hang around the same city forever because there's lots to see, but we're going to keep flying on normal planes, right? This city is helicopter central. They are everywhere. Yeah, no kidding. Look at that. And my guess is, because this is a world or a sim update, no, it's a world update, guess is that all of this stuff is handcrafted like that. It's not just a satellite image, right? I mean, the rest of the roof is, but they've handcrafted each heliport. Yeah. There was one right over here on an oval building. I mean, look at this. And some of you may even know the names of these buildings. I'm sure they're famous for their own architecture. But look at that. And there was a heliport on top of it, but it doesn't look like it. Metropolitan Cathedral of Rio de Janeiro. Okay, that's not a heliport. That's a POI. Look at that. Metropolitan Cathedral. Cool. I see Just Tom in the distance. Way over there. I see Andrew is in the sky, moving real fast in something. C400? Corvallis? Is that what you're flying? Nice.
That is what I'm in.
And why did you pick that today?
Just because.
Just because, okay. You never know, right? And what are you flying on, Ace?
I'm probably going to take up the Vision.
Super Ty says we could also check Mount Roraima. Roraima. They modeled it correctly. Now it's not melted. Okay. Is that this hump back here? Probably this relief we see back here. And of course, something over that way. I don't know what it is. I think that's where Just Tom is. Something over there. If you know what I mean, everybody. There's something over there. That's the most famous part of Rio. Is everybody gathered yet? Are we going flying yet? Let's gather on the runway. Let's go.
Well, I see Red, Barrowhawk, Mike, Scrap, Papa, Fierce Wolf, you. D&H is off in the distance as usual. Just Tom's up on the hill.
Up on the hill. Up on the hill. What's up on the hill? Let's go have a look. Look at how much stuff is here. We've been here before. Before in 2020 we were here. And so today we've revisited because of the new scenery update. Let me just start something here and see how it sounds. That's gonna set the mood. The very wealthy in Rio use helicopters to avoid the traffic and crime. He once spent a week, John says, right? With a helipad right next door, helicopters coming and going all day. No kidding, eh? Certainly make noise, don't they? You could probably even find the heliport you were beside because they're all modeled here. hospitals, of course.
Standing beside your plane, Red, but you can't get in.
But he can't get in. Control C. Put your
Shift C.
put your cursor on the screen and then control
Shift C.
Shift C. Shift C. Right.
Or if it's a 2024 airplane, click the door handle.
Yeah, that'll work too. Here's
Sometimes.
the famous Redeemer. Look at that. There's that famous view right there. And then of course you can go play with the sun and make it into something.
If you look down at the base of the statue, Howard, there should be a whole bunch of little black spots. They've actually got people in this in the picture. Door handle won't like, but Shift C worked. Yeah, Shift C. If all else fails, Shift C will get you into your airplane.
Am I at the right airport? Did I grab the right flight plan?
Probably
Well,
not, because there's not a flight plan.
Yeah.
Howard decided that was boring, so we're not going to do that one.
Yeah,
So we're at
we killed it. You're saying
where
there's
we at
people here somewhere.
here? Sierra Bravo Romeo Juliet.
Just type exclamation point flight plan, everybody. You'll see the airport we're at. And I typed it into the YouTube chat because they don't have those shortcuts.
Yeah, John, I wouldn't
You're
be
saying there's
surprised it would be
people here,
cold.
Andrew?
There can be. It depends on the, because I saw somebody was doing a video on it, and there were actually like spots on the concrete representing. They were supposed to be people that were there when the satellite imagery was taken. But I didn't notice any the other day when I was farting around here. So.
You're saying there's supposed to be people here? I guess it depends on your settings, right?
I would assume they don't like that. Like it wasn't people, but there were
People.
on the like going down the hill and whatnot. There were spots in the satellite imagery that were actually people that were there when the images were taken.
So, the 5th largest country in the world, you guys, by both land area and population. 5th largest. Huge! I think Amazon's one of the longest rivers too, right? I don't know. I don't think we're going to get near the Amazon River, right?
That's up the top side of the north side of the country.
Over
That's where,
4,000 airports, making it the 2nd largest country in terms of airport infrastructure. 4,000 airports. And of course, Portuguese is the official language because of the settlers. It was cold, John says, up on that mountain. I wouldn't doubt it. Look how high up it is, right?
Well, I'm slightly below the level of Christ the Redeemer, and I'm at 2,500 feet, so...
What a view from here, though. I can see why it would be cold, you know, just elevation. We learn in ground school, of course, that you lose 2 degrees Celsius per 1,000 feet. So the higher you go, that's why mountains are snow-capped, right?
So you're about 6 degrees colder than down at the shore right now, because it's about 3,000 feet to the top of that hill.
Charles Farmer, good morning. How you doing? Welcome back.
Hey,
Come fly
Charles.
with us. Come fly. Come fly. Sub bomber, yeah, that's a good name for him. He's a sub bomber. You got a new name. He says, I've been called a lot of things, but sub bomber. You know, it's interesting, you guys. I saw a documentary once about this, where the workers who have to clean it, they have to clean it because there's a ton of bird droppings on it, you know, and they actually have a door out here somewhere, maybe on both sides of the shoulders, right? You get out on the shoulders, and they get out there and scrub. Apparently, you know. I mean, I'm trying to think of the documentary, it was years ago, but of how they maintain this thing. There's stairs inside. I don't think people can go in them. I don't know. I haven't been here. But certainly the workers have to go in here, and they get out up onto the arms, and they actually have to clean it. Can you imagine? Whew, and the wind whistling through you and going, I hope I don't fall. Yes, sirree. Anyway, that's a big, huge draw, that's for sure. Apart from all the other million things here that you'd probably want to see, right? A CL415, you know, Super Thai, that's not a bad idea. Let's just fly over it and drop a load of water. A few more, you know, along the way. But look at the distance from there way down to here. Wow. Certainly lots of places to play with helicopters here.
Curious if my stream to you is looking good, Howard. I made a couple changes on my end.
Okay, I'm seeing you sitting on the tarmac with a Vision Jet.
That looks good. Doesn't look great out. I was a little worried. I enabled HDR on my computer.
Oh,
Wasn't
you mean the
sure
same
what
as
that would
Xbox,
do.
right? That's what Xbox does. They enable HDR. It's about the only setting they
It
have.
can it can do weird things when streaming to Twitch.
Is that right?
I was hoping it mitigated it the way I set it up, and it looks like it did. So should be good.
Oh my gosh, Rad, you're absolutely right. Name the water bomber John the Baptist. Is that funny? He's got a point. I'm just wondering if they modeled this, and as I get closer I can see they didn't. This is actually just AI guesstimated, I guess. Wow, it looked great from the air, didn't it?
Don't know, you're still on Ace's screen.
Oh, I do that often, right? The screen in front of my face isn't the one you guys see. But here I'm looking at this, the great big boulder here. We'll call it the great big boulder, right? It's the Sugarloaf Mountain, which is famous, of course. But when I saw it from above, it's like, oh, that looks handcrafted. Let's go look at that. And as you get closer to it, it's like, oh, it's looking great. Look what they did to it. Oops. It's all melted. What happened? A lot of heat. They had a heat wave. You can tell it's not been touched at all. That's just AI generated by the satellite image, right? Too bad. But, you know, they had to model a million other things, right? So Rad says, I see Ace's plane as black in stream, but white from his stream. Oh.
Oh yeah, the livery model matching is still messed up in the sim.
So he means in the sim, right? Not in the stream, but in the sim itself, looking out your airplane at someone else's airplane, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get flying. Everybody's over
Do
here.
we have a ultimate destination airport that we're aiming for at some point eventually?
Not at all. Isn't that amazing? Melted
Well, we
Building
could
is the
hit-
cable
wait.
car station. Oh,
We could head south towards Sao Paulo. There's a bunch of airports along the way if we get bored or whatnot. But yeah, Super Thai, you haven't taken off yet. It's been nearly half an hour.
yeah, but who's counting? Wraith, looks like you're in some kind of helicopter. Yeah, that's great. Palm trees. Super duper duper. But you know, that's the funny thing, you guys. We many times we'll start at an airport that's gorgeous, but we don't see it. We just take off. And say, oh yeah, the airport back there was a really nice one if you want to go see it. Here we were starting at Rio, one of the biggest attractions around, and we're just going to take off and go somewhere else, you know? Yeah. Mike, what are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? You haven't taken off yet. Oh, it's been nearly half an hour. Okay, not at all. Taken and been. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about texting. Super Ty's a young fellow, so he's probably used to texting, and in texting they cut off characters. So instead of typing been, B-E-E-N, he says been. Instead of saying taken, T-A-K-E-N, he's just used to texting, right? So right, Super Ty, am I right? The texting world. The less characters. But you know, that still comes from all the way back to tech support when we were working with Linux and we were working with Unix systems. Our commands had to be 3 characters. Sometimes we had 4-character commands. We just wanted to do it as few characters as possible. Because in the early days, a lot of technical people would just do finger typing. They didn't know how to do home row and normal typing. So I don't want to sit there typing a long word with finger pecking. So they had very short characters, right? Very short commands. And that's how a lot of that started, yeah. Don't judge how we type. No worries whatsoever, but there's a reason why. That's why. And the idea, you guys, is that we're all communicating. I think that's what the main thing is, right? But it is interesting, yeah. Morning from the West Coast, Captain Cocktail. How's it going? And John DFW says, I think I read that they're going to go back and touch up some POIs. Red says we all speak net here, Mike. Yeah. So let's go. Let's go fly. We got a bunch of you here. Time to rock and roll. And so, Andrew, you're suggesting we go south? Ace, what are you suggesting?
Sure.
Sure. Let's just
I haven't
let's get
given
Google
much
map.
thought. I haven't looked at the geography of where we are.
It looks like the Amazon starts up here, way up north, or we're not there.
Yep.
And it
Yeah,
goes
it's
across
way
here, you
up
guys.
north.
And that's, that's a famous thing too. I went and had a look at it. My original flight plan was up here, in the French Guiana, but it was boring. It was all flat with trees, and there was the odd river, and the river was yellow, or the river was gray, or the river was beige.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it was,
they
it was
did-
really ugly. So I thought,
they-
let's
they-
do something else.
It looked like a rainforest with rivers going through it.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, they did.
The
They,
Amazon.
they did the Amazon yesterday on MSFS. So
Oh, did they? Okay.
yeah.
So then we don't have to do it. So here we are, right here. I thought I'd show everybody where we are. This is with Google Maps, though, right? So we're in this little area right here, and you can see the symbol right there for Christ the Redeemer right there. Huge area. I mean, look at all the population here. I mean, is all of this Rio? Probably, right?
Yep.
I mean, look at it
It's
all.
a big place.
Huge. And then you're saying heading further south. Okay. So we'll head down this way. We'll just follow the coastline and see what tickles our fancy. This looks really interesting in here. Let's see how far we get, you guys. Let's head south. Let's take off and head south. Or follow the coastline south.
I just
Welcome
realized
to
I never
Rio.
went to the marketplace and activated this update.
Oh, you didn't? So what does it look
Nope.
like on your screen?
Well, it only takes about 5 seconds. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really doesn't download the whole
edited
thing, right?
I just hopefully you don't have what happened to Howard and what happened to me and several other people. That as soon as you activate it, your sim crashed the desktop.
It's probably going to crash at Ace, and then you're going to have to load it up again, and then it'll be fine, right?
Such is life.
So the one person who just said hi Howard and everyone, it's dark blue text. Your name comes up, dark blue text on a black background, so I can't even read it. Is it JJ something? I can't even read
that's Jay Jablonski.
it. Okay, how you
67.
doing? How you doing? Thanks for your sub. Yeah, it's too bad that it changes colors for each person, and that one is coming up dark blue on black, and it's just I can't even read it.
John DFW says in 2020 it's about a 10 gigabyte download.
Yep, everything's
Yeah,
downloaded.
and in 2024 it's about a 5-second activation.
Cows on the taxiway, Red. That's cool. That is cool. And you guys, you
Just
see,
call him JJ. Okay.
okay, JJ, that's great. And now it actually shows up a different color. I don't know why, but I can read it. You guys see Rad Baron's in chat right now. You can see him in there. He's going to be our guest pilot on Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a riot. We're going to be doing SAR, Search and Rescue, you guys. We can't tell you anymore, but that'll be a lot of fun. Let me see if I've got something here for you.
Look, I'm flying a circle.
There we go. Search and Rescue this Tuesday with special guest Rad Baron.
My G1000, my airplane is a circle instead of an airplane.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. That's just
Oh, yeah.
showing you're in the center, and that's probably your 5-mile radius, unless you change the range key, right?
Yeah, it's just that normally your plane shows up as a plane on the.
Oh,
That's a nice little lighthouse.
wherever you are, yeah. And that's funny that Andrew's flying a modern plane with a glass cockpit. I'm flying a conventional Cessna with conventional gauges. We've kind of reversed our role here, Andrew. Let's go find Andrew.
I wasn't sure how far we were going, so I figured I'd pick something that was a little speedier than.
But I'll keep the pace with a Cessna 172, and it's
Although I
float,
do,
so
I,
can go
I do have to try the Mark 9 at some point in time because Alex released a sound patch yesterday morning to fix the sound in 2024, and I haven't tried it yet.
Simu Flyer is flying the 415, and it does not look like that on my screen. It's so funny that in the alpha, the beta, the Game Pass version, all the versions I've been working with, things looked great. Now I'm in the Steam version. Everything's enabled. It's the Aviator Edition, and I don't see planes properly. It's like, come on. You know, Steam itself, you guys, is just... It's just a platform. It's just a vehicle to get it launched. It doesn't affect the game at all. The game is still streamed, and still all the normal stuff still happens. Which way's south down here?
Steam version. If you have MSFS on Steam, you have Steam to start the sim. After that, it's talking to Microsoft.
It's a launcher, yeah.
Same as the rest of them.
So when people say to me, "Oh, it's because you're on Steam," no, it's not that at all. It's just the way to launch it. It's the way to buy it. The way to launch it.
It can do some weird things just because it is a slightly different launcher, but once it's up and running, it should be exactly the same as the store version is, or that the Xbox version is.
Am I going south? No, I'm going east. South is this way. Okay.
South is towards me.
If we can find you, yes.
I'm slightly out to sea a little bit because there's a little island out here called
the
Ilha Rasa Lighthouse.
Easy for you to say. Yeah.
Not really.
That's sort of south. Okay. It doesn't seem like it's be south. It looks like I'm going inland, but I guess.
Yeah, turn right when you come out the harbor mouth.
All right. Yeah, I did that, but it was if I followed the coastline, I guess I'd be going west, but for a while.
Yeah.
Some highlights from the dev stream yesterday. City Update 10 is USA 4 featuring Dallas, Fort Worth, Honolulu, Denver, San Francisco, and the DCS Legend.
Yeah, but it's super tight. Did you notice? It's San Francisco, Colorado.
Huh? San Francisco and DCS. Oh, San Francisco, Colorado? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what when they put the tag up, it was San Francisco in comma Colorado. It's like, I'm sorry guys, San Francisco's not in Colorado.
Oh, you mean there was no comma in there? What are you saying?
Well, there was. They put like Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Honolulu, Hawaii, and they did San Francisco in Colorado. It's like, well, San Francisco is not in Colorado, guys. You've got your state wrong. Yeah, and I thought it looked funny too, Super Ty, that they misspelled Honolulu.
Denver, Colorado was also one of them too, right? So they just failed to change the state, I think, for San Francisco.
Sloppy, 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 sloppy. Dr. No Thumbs in the house.
But, yeah.
All I know is that Dallas Fort Worth city update better come with a Dallas Fort Worth airport update.
Why?
That airport is a wreck.
Is it?
Yeah, DFW is not very nice looking in the sim at the moment.
I mean, it's not as bad as that Istanbul airport, but it's not
I don't think
good.
anything's as bad as that Istanbul airport. That was horrid.
So
Second
Andrew,
busiest airport in Europe,
And you can't land on it in the sim
Yeah, that was
because it
ugly,
goes up
wasn't
and
it?
down.
So Andrew, why are you way out to sea? I thought we were going to follow the coastline.
I came out to look at the lighthouse.
Oh, you came out to look at the lighthouse. Okay. So we'll head down the coastline here.
Yeah, there's a little island out here.
There's so much to see on the land. I was just wondering why.
It's the Ilha Rasa Lighthouse. I thought, well, let's go see what it looks like. It's actually a very nice little lighthouse.
Because you're from Halifax. You admire lighthouses. They're very rare now. More and more of them are dismantled. We don't need lighthouses. We got GPS. What if your GPS fails? You know? Yeah. That servers would
I'm
be
with Andrew on this
really-
one. Lighthouses are cool.
I think, well, sure they're cool, but they're getting
But
less
yeah,
and less. of them.
they had a special guest yesterday. I forget what the gentleman's name was, but he's from Heatblur, who do a lot of aircraft for DCS, and they actually partnered with India Fox Teco for 2020 for the F-14 Tomcat, and they are getting ready to release an F-4 Phantom for 2024.
Cool.
It's going to be very nice. It looks very well done. Well, I mean, they're known for their aircraft for DCS, so you know what they do.
Let's go have a look, you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. No Thumb is in the house. And he's in a helicopter. See, I mentioned the helicopter was the best thing to use here, and look at that. Very nice. Very nice. So South America is the only country where Portuguese is the official language. No, only South American country, yeah. Discovered by the Portuguese explorer in 1500 and remained a Portuguese colony. The rest of South America settled by Spain, and hence they speak Spanish. Kind of interesting. The country's name comes from the Brazil wood tree, a valuable resource at the time. Pretty cool. Strap says he needs to bring back Clippy. You know, there's so many people have said that now in the last 10 years. It's like, we need Clippy back. It's so funny. They got rid of it, and then people said, wait a minute, we need it. You guys hear the music on stream? Just out of curiosity, is it coming through? It's here in the studio. I'm not sure if it comes through on the stream.
We don't hear it in here.
On
But they
Zoom,
might
right,
hear it
yeah.
out.
Check, 1, 2, check. Just wondering what this is. Oh, that must be
Okay,
music.
apparently I don't have a proper version of the F-35 because Kestrel just flew by and he's flying an A320. But his tag says F-35, so.
So can I get a confirmation, you guys, on stream? Do you guys hear background music? It's been
Yeah,
going
there
for a
is.
while.
Yep,
Yep,
there is
okay.
music on stream.
Brazilian soccer football name would be Manaka. Manaka. So I know that in Italian, if there's two consonants together, you overpronounce them, you know? So man, you sort of hold that consonant. I would presume it's the same in
AKW.
Portuguese, yeah. Morning from Bring Cash Canada. What? I missed the reference to that. What did I miss, Andrew? Bring Cash
I have no
Canada?
idea.
Oh, okay. I thought I missed something, you guys.
No, I saw it just like 2 seconds before you did. Just saying hi to him. I have no idea what that means.
So Supertai says it's actually pronounced Manassa, so you emphasize the SS instead of the N. Interesting. It is interesting, the different languages, you guys.
Oh, BC. Okay. It just means BC. Bring cash.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the reference though to Bring Cash. What's that mean?
Just BC.
Yes, but the reference to bring cash, what does that mean? It's like you
BC.
ask it again.
That's all it means. It's just being silly referencing his province's name, BC,
Oh.
British Columbia.
Just say British Columbia then. Okay, I get it. All right, I got it. These abstract, whatever.
Look,
So
it's the condominiums of the edifice of Heron Lake. That's nice. Condominio del Edificio Heron Lakes.
easy for you to say.
Not really. It's the condominium of the edifice of Heron Lake, whatever that means.
We're learning all kinds of stuff. Look what Dr. Notham's approaching here. He's right in
Yes,
it.
apparently they have their own heliport.
Well, from what we've heard this morning, apparently everybody does.
It does seem that way. There's an awful lot of them here.
That would be a very noisy place, wouldn't it? And here I'm complaining about the odd Harley that goes by my house, because the roads are right close to our buildings, right here in these small communities. So we get a Harley going by, the whole house shakes, everybody wakes up, and you go, okay, must be Larry, you know. But I would bet with helicopters, there's a lot of wind currents, right? They're coming into land, they're moving away, they're coming in and out. I'll bet you anything, it's always noisy.
Well, there's one for you, Howard. It's the Reserva Golf heliport.
Say it again.
Reserva Golf.
Oh,
So apparently there's a golf course here
meaning
that has.
golf course. Okay,
There's a golf course here that has its own heliport.
cool. Way cool. I bet you there's a lot of golf courses here.
There's a lot of people on them
The
beaches.
Copacabana Beach. You say there's a lot of people on the beaches? You have people?
Well,
Are we all supposed to
I
have
ha-
people?
I have dots. I'm assuming they're supposed to be people.
Okay. Oh, I see. You don't
I mean,
have
I'm
actual
at
people. You have dots.
I'm
Oh,
at
I see.
1,500. I'm at 1,500 feet, so they'd look like dots even if they were actual people. But
I see. There's dots all along the coastline. I get it.
Yep.
This inside the coastline here, this waterway inside, the intra waterway looks good. Holy mackerel, KW, you're flying a lot. Yes, the dev stream showed off wake turbulence, and a 172 was wobbling like mad from a heli wake.
and it was, and Super Tide, did you notice it was only a 120? The helicopter was only a 125, and it literally blew that 172 right off the runway.
125 does produce a lot of thrust, but
Yeah, but it's a very small helicopter comparatively. But it literally blew the 172 right off the runway.
that's exactly what I wanted to show everybody
Yeah,
when
and the pro- and the
2024
pro-
came out, and it didn't actually happen. So I was
That's
really
because
upset.
right now, wake turbulence doesn't happen in multiplayer.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
We were in multiplayer. We couldn't get it to
Like if you had an AI plane take off in front of you, as you're simming, the AI plane wake would affect your airplane, but nobody else would see it.
Well, kind of ridiculous. They got to
But
fix
that's
that.
in that's coming in Sim Update 2.
Which is
and
coming out in a
people-
few days, isn't it?
Theoretically, there could be a beta for it starting next week or the week after. And a lot of people were actually asking if they could make that a toggleable thing, so that if you didn't want to have to worry about wake turbulence, you could turn it off. And
For
they said, yeah,
beginners, yeah.
we could probably do that.
Yeah, for beginners, 'cause they'd be surprised. Yeah, they wouldn't know anything about it.
It's the Rio to Fly helicopter tours of Rio de Janeiro.
So I do want to mention, you guys, April 1st to the 9th, I'm at Fun and Sun, Sun and Fun, Fun and Sun, and I'll be working there all week and camping there, so I won't be able to stream. I will be able to do spot streams. I mean, I could use my phone to do spot streams from actual airplanes. But so that week is going to be tough on streaming. I'll talk to Andrew and Ace about their availability if they want to do any streams at all, but it'll be a rough week for me to actually get to streaming. And if you're in Florida, it's the place to be if you like aviation.
Which week was that?
The week of April 1st to 9th.
2
Okay.
weeks.
I can give you guys exact dates, but
Except not on the 1st, because that's April Fool's Day.
well, the 1st I'll be there too. But so the 1st is actually the Monday when everybody's flying, and it's one of the busier days for the actual planes coming in. But the air show days are from the 2nd on. Let's see now. The 1st is the official first day. I'll be there from the 30th to 31st and all, that whole first weekend. Yeah. So Sun and Fun is in Florida. It's in Lakeland, Florida, John DFW. It's the 2nd biggest air show expo in North America, with Oshkosh, of course, being number 1. And it's huge, and it's growing fast, and it's growing big. They're sold out of all their vendors way ahead of time. They're over 200,000 visitors will be showing up over that week. 10,000 pilots camping under their wing. It's going to be huge. And I'm all part of it, which is really exciting. But I'll give you guys more details, and I'll make sure that we know now. Lived in Florida before and didn't know about it. Whoa, John, no kidding, man. Yeah, it's in Lakeland, which right now where I live here near Kissimmee, I live near Disney, and it's about 45 minutes south of me. And on normal rush hour, it would probably be about an hour, maybe an hour and a quarter north or south of me. So I just go down and I just camp. I stay in my little 2-man tent, and that way I'm right there. When I leave the expo at the end of the day, I have a golf cart that I take back to the campsite. And then we attend the chairman's meetings every morning at 7:30 to get all the briefings of the day, and then we head off to our posts and hang out there all day long in the sun, having fun. No matter where you go, there's population here, you guys. I'm just looking to see what's on top of this hill. Probably just a radio tower, but it looks kind of interesting. Oh, lots of radio towers. Or power line towers, I guess. Power line towers, yeah.
This is looking a lot better.
All right. When Ace says that, I'm going to his screen. Oh, that looks a lot better. So you like it? You like what's happening?
Well, I got the the proper airport now. I was sitting there like why is everybody hovering? And I'm like, you know what? It's probably me.
Oh, you didn't have the update, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did yours crash when you got the update?
It didn't crash the desktop, but I was trying to load back in and it was just hanging on the load screen. So
Yeah.
I ended up force crashing it, and then
Maybe
Yeah,
that's why,
because
maybe that's
I
why
know
they
when-
crash it.
Yeah, when I did it, the same thing happened to Howard Thursday. Thursday, start a stream it's like, okay, we're started. Okay, we're at the marketplace. Okay, here's the world. Yep, there's the update. Activate. Yep, you're activated. Good. And the next time I click something, bang, right to the desktop.
Yeah. A lot of people have that.
It started up instantaneously, just like normal, but it was kind of annoying.
Yeah, mine happened right on stream, yep. But you know, it makes sense, you guys. The magic that they're doing, they're activating it. They're giving us something on our local client, but everything stays back on the server. That changes our environment, that's for sure. And it changes the pre-cache scenery that's been loaded too. So you know, it makes sense that we'd have to do a reboot of the sim. You know, and that's easy enough now. Rebooting the sim is a 30-second endeavor, up to a minute. Yeah. And John says, nowadays we pay to be beta testers. Yeah. Yeah. Well, nothing tests a product better than millions of people using it, you know? Like they could even have their pool of 200,000 beta testers, but nothing beats 1 million, 2 million, 5 million people testing it, doing stuff that the 200 beta testers never did even figure out, you know? So, yeah, it's sad, but that is the way to wring things out. When you think about all the software products, I've been using Paint.net forever. It's a free paint program that converts everything to everything. It's got layers, transparencies, you name it. So I use it. It's had almost every month, it seems that there's an update when I exit. You know, do you want to do the update when you exit? Yeah, okay. An update on a paint program? What's new? What do you have to fix? What's wrong with it? It's been years. So you get software that actually, it's not simulation. It's not live environment of the changing scenery and updates and developers, and it's one simple paint program and it's updating every month. What is it updating? So, you know, it's interesting that environment seems to be forever updating, forever fixing. You know. Look
Does
at
it save
2020.
and
We were
convert?
still getting updates, Mike, in 2020, right? Even right up to even now, right? We're still getting
they-
updates
they-
in 2020, 5 years later. You know, what?
2020 got the World Update 19 the other day, same as we did. It's just a whole lot bigger download.
Oh yeah, yeah. We don't have to download all that crap anymore. I think it's kind of interesting when people say, you know, it didn't work for me, so I uninstalled it. Like, wait a second, you don't have to uninstall it. It's only about 20 gigabytes. It's 2020 that takes up so much space. You uninstall that, you're going to free up about 200 gigabytes or more. Corporate Executive Offices, CEO. Okay.
Yep.
Tons of condominiums. Ooh. Condominium city. Do we not have our own fun and sun in Canada? Yeah, we have air shows in Canada. I've been to, last June I went with Flight Sim Association. Evan asked me if I would help in Trenton, which is 2 hours away from where I live in Toronto. And Trenton is my hometown, so I was glad to go there. I used to go there all the time. And we helped out with their air show. It's not really an expo though, right? They don't have exhibitors and all that. It's a military base with an air show. So it's not as big as these expos that we have here, you know, in North America. They're both in the USA. They both pull in heavy duty flyers, military, civilian, etc. This year at Sun and Fun, the Blue Angels will be there again. Love the Blue Angels when they come, but boy, are they strict about the show box requirements. We can't even step foot in the show box when the Blue Angels are flying. That's how strict they are about it. So, you know, we're really on our toes when they're flying, and man, are they loud. So, kind of neat. Yeah, Abbotsford, yeah, that's true, right? Go BC, yeah, that's cool. KW says Canada's largest air show. So, is it an expo though also, right? I mean, that's the big draw about this when you see Oshkosh with their 200,000 people and 10,000 pilots coming in and out, managing all that, and the fact that the exhibitors, there's a million of them, you know, I mean, that's a big thing, and that's what pays for the show, right? Castro, what are you flying? Because it looks like a great big huge airliner to me. Howard's flying the beaches. Let's see what Dr. Notham's flying. He's flying the rooftops, yeah. He did Sim and Fun last weekend. It was great. Hey, way to go, Captain Cocktail. Was it good? Yeah? Did you download the scenery? You had to have, right? So you could see everything. And that's exactly what we did in our landing challenge, you guys, but with better scenery. Because Pilot Edge, who are the real controllers who are actually in the event, they did the approach for 2 days on the last weekend. And they did the same approach we did in our landing challenge, but they had better scenery. And they would have populated the whole Lakeland Airport with the expo, which is huge. You're claustrophobic, so no way you could go to Oshkosh. Why is that, John? What do you mean? What part is claustrophobic? Like all the people? The number of people, is that it? And Captain Cocktail says, it was stressful for your first time with live ATC. KW says, I don't even think it's safe. Well, they have had accidents. They had an accident last year over at the seaplane base. Sun and Fun had an accident last year over at the Stoll landing competition area. Yep, accidents do happen. But you know, they move 10,000 pilots in and out. Every day there's a conga line of planes coming in and out before and after the air show. We got to manage that also. So it's all, you know, pilots follow the rules, people stay safe. Pilots don't follow the rules, yeah. And quite honestly, you guys, most pilots do follow the rules because they're disciplined and they're trained. Yeah, I don't know what that part's all about, KW, because I've never seen that at the air shows I go to. Holding and waiting on celebs, I don't get that. What do you mean? I know other airports, if the president comes in, all air traffic stops, stuff like that, but I'm not sure what you mean by the air show, though. Where have you seen that, where they stack them up? So Captain Cocktail had the scenery. You're unable to see other aircraft. Well, you should have been able to because of your client. Your client program from Pilot Edge. You'll only see other Pilot Edge flyers. And you know, that's the fun of the actual approach, is that you have each of you half a mile apart. That's the beauty of it. That's the thrill of it. And also the scary part of it, right? Yeah, KW, not sure what you mean by that, right? What part's risky? What are you talking about, this celeb thing? We don't have that at Sun and Fun. I've never seen that at Oshkosh either. They just line them all up. The Fisk approach is the same sort of thing. It's half a mile apart, 1,800 feet, 90 knots. Faster airplanes stack up above. 500 feet more, 2,200 feet, 120 knots minimum. And they just bring them in and land them. Nobody's holding unless you're out of line or you're too close to somebody. They'll send you out around the lake to hold.
Oshkosh will hold everybody for special arrivals.
Probably around Green Lake, probably.
Yeah, more than likely. But yeah, they've had, so like a couple of years now, they've had this massive group of bonanzas that fly up every year. And when they're en route, they'll hold everybody else and sequence in all the bonanzas at once.
Wow.
Because they actually do like a formation landing with the bonanzas. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, if they've got celebrities coming in, the safest thing to do would be to let them in and hold the other pilots, because then that keeps security and everything on track, which can make a huge mess of stuff if they don't let them in. So I don't know what they're doing, but the proper thing should be is to put everybody in a hold. I don't know if that's what they're doing or not.
Yeah. All right, Super Tie. Yeah, Bonanza Horde.
They set like a world record for like the single largest group flight of bonanzas ever.
Good for them.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
There's a few hundred of them.
That would be exciting.
They basically did one of our group flights in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
cool.
cool, wouldn't it? A gaggle of bananas.
Yeah, they had to stop everything to let that in because that was just one massive.
But they know
group
they're
of-
coming, right? They know
Yep.
they're coming,
Oh, yeah.
and they can
Yeah, it
manage
wasn't
the
a
traffic.
surprise.
Yeah.
Yep, they had no way.
They have to have a prior notice and prior profession. So it might seem crazy, you guys, but they've got it all under control. Do I have to
Usually
firewall
the
it?
accidents that happen at Oshkosh are people that mishandle that short final. They get too slow and then drop.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not how the accidents happened last year.
Well, last year it was what, the collision with a helicopter or whatever,
Yep.
or a gyroplane or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they had a seaplane accident too over at the seaplane base. Yeah.
Yeah, they had two last year. One of them was the collision and at the helicopter, or the I think was it a helicopter or an auto gyro? One of
It was an
rotary
auto
of
gyro.
some form.
It was an auto gyro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a buddy of mine flies this Piper Cherokee into Oshkosh. He's from Illinois. And I know last year he said when he filed his plan, there was some senator or something coming in for it. I don't know what state or whatever. But anyway, they advised him that he would most likely have like up to a 20-minute hold. So he knew ahead of time getting there he's going to have that going on.
Yeah. You plan your fuel for holding. That's
Yeah.
You know.
So it's no surprise when you get there, like, oh, I got a hold. It's not a surprise. It's expected.
And they hold around lakes, you guys. So it's this nice big long round holding pattern. You just follow the guy in front of you. It's not a big deal. But it's fun to watch. It's cool to see, and it does raise your awareness while you're flying. You keep your head on a swivel, because the odd person will try to cut in and okay, I'm going to join in here, and they're not supposed to. You're supposed to make sure you have half a mile between each person, And you could report them too if they're doing erratic things, but it's very rare to see that. The pilots are very respectful. They know the rules. They all want to be safe.
Was it last year or
Get the
2
odd
years
hot
ago
shot
when
that
you
gets in
live
there.
streamed the Fisk approach?
The year before last. Yeah, I was
Okay.
there. Yeah, and I was in a 152. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, we tried to live stream. I mean, as long as I had cellular connection, it live streamed, but it cut out a few times, I think. And I think
Yeah.
Ace had to deal with the fact that my camera from my phone was coming in upside down or something like that. It's
I
like,
remember that.
Howard's doing the Fisk approach, inverted. Yeah, it was like, okay then. Poor Ace was trying to switch it back around. It was
We
kind
could
of
do a unique approach.
Yeah, that's Howard.
We didn't have a really solid
Stable.
pre-stream test of that. It was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, Howard's jumping in with his camera now, and I
Yeah.
need to
what that
frame this
looks
up in real time during the stream.
Yeah, and he managed it too, you guys. Brazil is home to the largest Catholic population in the world, you guys. But it also has won the FIFA World Cup in soccer more times than any other nation in the world. See?
Is that what Janet just said?
No, that's what Howard
No.
just said. I could turn on Janet, I guess. You like Janet, don't you?
She gives the interesting facts. Well, she gives a fact and then gets something goofy after, and that's what part I like.
You just want to hear what Toby did.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
what's that
I
idiot
didn't-
done this
I
time?
didn't
Exactly.
get what
What
that
has
was
he
all
not
about
done
until you
now?
mentioned it. Yeah, it's like, okay, who's Toby and what has he done? What's that all about?
Oh, man.
So for those who don't know, Mike is quoting Say Intentions, you guys. There's a mentor, and there's also mentors can help you with anything. Ask them a question about anything in your airplane or anything aviation. The mentor will help you along. But he's actually talking about the tour guides, and the tour guides can help you whatever area you're in. They either give you information or you ask them for information, and they can help you. And that's cool when you're flying solo and you're not in a group like us, and you want to find out more information. You just turn that on as one of your intercoms, and you can hear them in the background. It's really cool. I don't believe, if I remember, you don't put that on your main comm channel. That's reserved still for ATC, right?
The internal
Yeah,
cabin
tour
comm,
guides
not
are
the
on
radio.
radio.
Intercom,
yeah.
yeah, that's it. Oh, the Cube CEU airport. Okay, we got Twids is in there, and so is FW Ryder. I'm going to go have a look. That's an airport right there. All right. For those
So-
just joining us, we're flying in Rio and looking at the new scenery from the World Update. Or this, is it the World Update? Yeah, it's a World Update.
Yep.
19, right?
Yep.
You were about to say
I find
something. Go ahead, Hank.
I find screen name distance is really good now, but the actual rendering of the planes themselves doesn't seem to be that good for distance.
Is it still building the plane on the fly as we get closer? I remember Andrew saying,
I don't know.
there's Howard's cockpit. Oh, he's got our left wing. Oh, he's got our right wing. Oh, and there goes his gear. Okay, he's good now.
It seems like on your screen you see planes below screen names, including mine, but I don't see yours from the distance I am from you.
Huh.
I wonder if I got some setting weird.
Oh my gosh. Guess what I just realized? We can leave our mouse on another screen now.
We can do a what with a who?
We can leave our mouse on another screen and it still work. The controls still work. Yeah, I just found that out.
No kidding. I'm doing it
I guess
right
that was
now.
with the update, maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
look at
on.
that.
I didn't see that before. Wow.
Look at that! Yeah, I just
Yeah,
clicked.
that's cool.
I just clicked on my browser, which is on a whole separate monitor, and then I moved my joystick, and the plane moved.
Sorry, I screamed out loud. I was just surprised.
Oh, am I going north again? Oh boy, I got to turn around. Santa Cruz Air Force Base. Oh,
Mike, can you go fly on Howard's wing so he knows where he's going?
no, I'm just looking around. That's what we're supposed to be doing. It's VFR.
they were
you guys.
meandering, remember?
Those guys who just go on a flight plan and then set autopilot and then they go make a coffee, you know? Like, what joy did you get out of that? VFR, guys. Why we're flying. But I'll get back on track. Icebird says, I can do that already because I use SPAD Next, yeah. And Fofinga says, mine always worked like that. Well, it didn't for the majority of us. We had to keep the cursor on the active screen where your sim was for your controls to work properly.
That was a huge complaint in the forums.
Huge
I guess
complaint.
they listened.
Yep. And I have it installed on a laptop, on Xbox, and on a PC. All three of them, same problem. So yeah, it's different, and all different versions too. Game Pass, Steam, and Microsoft Store version. Just so I
it
could
was
do
an
all my
issue in
tests.
2020. They fixed it, and then it came back in 24.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't come back. It's just 24 didn't have the fix, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, a different model of a sim.
Yeah.
It's funny they had to reinvent the wheel again. You know, hello Microsoft. All right, south is this way. Okay. So there is a flight plan, is there? Would that show up on my 430? Oh, the screens are dim on the 430, 530. Is that normal? I thought they fixed that. I haven't flown this plane in this sim yet. The conventional gauges, you know.
They don't look that dim. Not as dim as what they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to
this
do
is-
Andrew's
well,
part
they're
here
black,
now.
right?
So
I mean,
Andrew, thank
how-
you for the resub.
How dim is dim?
Well, I can't. I can't do it myself, Mike. It's my resub.
You always do it for me, so I got to do it for you now.
I mean,
Andrew,
I
thank you
mean,
for
Ace,
the resub.
I mean, look at my screen. How dim is dim? You know, when you say they don't look that dim, to me, black is the dimmest you can get. There's no relief in there whatsoever. Nothing. That's
Okay,
just-
well, all of your comm information and stuff is bright though, so it's not the whole screen that's dim. It's just whatever's
just the
around
map.
your
It's
plane.
just the
I
map.
see. I
Your
see.
map has no information.
Right.
That's weird.
Hey,
But
look, you got to zoom out.
screens
It
aren't
zooms
dim.
in like a 1 mile radius by default. So you can-
yeah, try to ring out some and see if you start
Yeah.
to see
Stuff.
stuff.
that's what I always got to do.
Although he was just over an airport, I mean, there should have been something on there.
Yeah. Well, he's got blue now.
Oh, I'm over water, so I got blue. I'm over land, I get black. Okay.
You just got no information over land. You must have some stuff turned off or something. Like
Yeah.
everything turned off.
Yeah, it's always the flyer's fault. Yeah. It's not the same.
I'm thinking something's probably not working right. You're probably right.
How is this going south when I'm over water like this?
Well,
Looks like
if
we're
you're
going out
actually
to
going
sea,
south,
right?
south. Yeah, if you are going south, south, you are going out to sea.
Jeez. I'm going back this way.
It's more like west, southwest, somewhere in like the 250, 260 degree range.
53 months, Andrew.
Yep.
Can't even
Apparently.
count that high. Long time subs, you guys. That's cool. FS2 back in 1986. He says. Yeah, my first sim was 1982. That was called Flight Simulator by Bruce Artwick, and I think that's the one Microsoft bought. He bought the one from Bruce Artwick and started the franchise, if I remember correctly. All right, let's go to some. We got so many other good screens out here. Look at this, Mr. Helicopter over here, Dr. No Thumb, everybody.
That's an interesting bridge to nowhere.
That sounds like a movie. Bridge to Nowhere. Stay tuned, everybody. Premiere in a moment. So there's another one. If you're touching the tablet, it freezes the sim. Oh, that's cool. So I thought that would be fixed, but it's not. So here I am on the tablet. As soon as I grab it, look, my sim is frozen, right? Oh, look. Wow. All right, let's go like this. Yep. And be careful.
Yeah,
Tablet.
it only freezes when you move the tablet, though.
Yeah,
as soon
when
as
I'm,
you let
when I'm touching it, yeah.
well, as soon as you let go of it, the plane started moving again. So,
Yep. As soon as I click my mouse on it, then it freezes the sim.
well, that's not a bad thing. It means you can do stuff on the tablet without your plane falling out of the sky.
Yeah, it's so realistic.
I think it only pauses like in the weight and balance mode. That's something you wouldn't want to change in flight. But if you're in your flight planner, it doesn't pause.
Yeah, could be.
Well, let's see, because that wasn't the case for me. Let's have a look. No, we don't want to be there. Flight planner.
Yeah, your plane's still moving while you're changing screens.
Yeah, that's different. Yep. Anytime I ever touched the tablet, even in career mode too, it would just freeze everything. Your controls wouldn't do anything. Yeah, that's cool, Mike. So it seems to be only in here, right?
Because I think I read somewhere it does pause, like if you're in critical systems like weight and balance, things that should be changed on the ground, that kind of stuff. Because you technically can't refuel in the air per se, but at least not in a Cessna.
Right. But even just clicking it, yep. Yep, cool.
Sure you can. You just carry a few jerry cans and then a funnel with a hose.
Absolutely. Just put it on autopilot and get back there and put some fuel in. Wait a minute, it's on the roof. Okay.
Grab the right bottle.
It's up on the wing. This is why the Beaver has an oil funnel right inside the center console. You can actually put oil or even water into the oil to thin it out in the coldest of days. In the Beaver, the de Havilland Beaver, it was made that way so pilots can manage it right inside the plane. And then the fuel filler is just outside the door, not on the wings.
Yeah, and if you're flying the Beaver, when you first get in the cockpit, remember to tighten your oil cap because otherwise it rattles and it's annoying.
Wobble pumps, Rad says, yeah.
So that's what the autopilot's for, so you can engage that and then climb on the wing and refuel yourself.
Yep.
Uh-oh, Rad says they haven't fixed gear down for runway landing on the 172 float. What? All right, I'm going to test that right now. Gear down. It's working on mine. Front gear came out, back gear just lowered. Yep, I'm good.
Yes, but is your instrument panel yelling at you saying gear down for runway landing?
Oh, I don't care about the audio. Is that what you mean, the audio part? Because the gear part works. The gear down for runway landing on the 172 float. So by his statement, it sounded like they had to fix the gear down landing. But he's talking about the audio?
I think so. Ooh, submarine base. Gonna go look at that.
He doesn't say audio, so that's why. I'm a technical guy, you guys. He didn't say audio.
Yeah, Red says the announcer won't shut up.
Oh. Well, that's easy enough. Masking tape.
So in other words, it's gear down for water landing or whatnot, and then it just won't stop saying it.
You can always unplug him.
Yeah, well, don't you have to actually push the button to make it stop?
Well, I would think, Mike, you just need a roll of masking tape.
That's it.
That's so mean, right? It's like, I know how to stop that verbal. It's like masking
So the
tape.
announcement doesn't come on by default, and then you silence it, acknowledging you know that.
I don't know. I don't listen to it. I don't have the audio turned up. So Rad says he tried that, but he keeps going and going and going and going.
It's like the Energizer.
So why don't you just get rid of the announcer stuff? I mean, most planes don't have announcer stuff. These little planes. Why is that even there, you know? It's only the more expensive planes that actually have verbal announcements and stuff. A lot of people don't realize, you know, even autopilot is rare to see in a 172. You know, like I have rented 172s for 30 years. Never once had an autopilot that I needed to work. You know, I had to actually go and ask for a G1000 with autopilot if I wanted to actually have that. And it was usually a more expensive rental. So it's not a normal thing. Everybody just says, yeah, what happened to auto throttle? Well, we don't have auto throttle in a 172. Dr. No Thumb's flying low and slow in a helicopter. Looks great. The Energizer Bunny, he keeps going and going and going. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to turn it off. Yeah. So here's a question for chat. What was your first sim? Some will say, like, you know, 5 years ago. I know one person said, yeah, I just started in the fall and I'm doing great. You know, some people have just started learning it. Isn't that cool?
SubLogic on the Commodore 64.
SubLogic. Wow.
The original Flight Simulator.
Wow, that's going back. MSFS 1995, Full Fingers says, yeah. Mine was the DOS version. Yeah, Hermit, me too. Back in the DOS days. A lot of people don't know what DOS is, so yeah, we're speaking a whole new language now.
Well, in actual
Old language,
fact, the PC you're sitting in front of can actually run DOS.
yeah, as a simulator, probably.
Nope. It
Single-
actually, believe it or
single
not,
thread.
the x86 stuff is still in the base language. You can still actually do DOS programs if you catch it in the right spot for the whatnots. It's still the modern PC
whatnots,
still understands DOS. I mean, like you can actually run stuff in DOS on the modern PC.
So for those who don't know, DOS stands for Disk Operating System. It actually was loaded from floppies, and it would the disk operating system was just a blank screen, black screen with a cursor, you know, like you see on Linux, Unix, all the rest of these machines, and you issued commands, and then they started writing graphical programs for them. They started out with 16 colors only and nice jagged little polygons and stuff, and that was our first flight simulator too, was 16 colors. We could even do ILS approaches into Chicago, and so that was our first simulator back in the day. But the disk operating system itself was the operating system. Windows was just a layer on top when they first started, Windows 3.1, etc. I actually have Windows disks from Windows 3.0 when we were first testing it.
Yep.
And I've been certified in supporting all the operating systems, including DOS, all the way through to current day Windows 11. All the builds, all the versions, servers and workstations. That's my background, you guys, from my career. And
Have
so
a,
DOS was it. I mean, Novell ran on top of DOS, right? I mean, the Novell operating system was for the server, but you had to load DOS first, then you had to load Novell, you had to load DOS first, and you had to load Windows. And you can get emulators now that can do that, so that you can feel what it was like back then. But it was a single-threaded disk operating system, 16-bit back in the day. Actually started out in 8-bit. Now we're running 64-bit systems, multi-threading, multitasking, their own memory spaces, all the rest. But back in the old days, if one program gave you grief, it would freeze your whole machine because all programs had to wait for it. It was cooperative multitasking. It was like, give me back the cycles so I can have some, you know, back in those days. Now you can just kill the bad program
Yeah,
and
Captain
keep
Wink,
going.
I didn't have cassette for my Commodore 64. I had a double 5 1/4 floppy drive.
Oh, you were rich.
Well, put it this way:
We all had cassette decks.
the Commodore 64, the double 5 1/4 floppy drive, and the monitor was $2,500
Wow.
back in 1980.
I was playing with circuit boards in my electronics class in the 70s, you guys. Circuits. Little 4-bit integrated circuits. It was part of my specialty in electronics for my electronics certification. So we were actually building mini little computers on a breadboard before many computers were even out. Before the Apple ever came out, before Wozniak invented the Apple. Then eventually we got a TI-99 4A, and I was president of the TI-99 4A computer club. And we all chipped in to buy a floppy disk. We all chipped in to buy a floppy disk, which was a box that we sat in front of our computer, and it had one floppy drive in it. And everybody said, what are you going to do with all that space? And we said, well, first we're going to get rid of our tape deck, our audio tape deck, and then we're going to use floppies from now on to store all our programs. It was revolutionary. But we had to have a club of people donating to buy this floppy drive. That's how expensive they were back then. So those are my roots, you guys, are coming back all the way back to the DOS days.
Did you have a 56K modem?
Yeah, oh yeah. I had a 300 baud modem. 56K
Ooh,
was
300.
electric, yeah. So
Yes,
Speedy
start
says,
with
I've started using flight simulator software on the Commodore 64, Gunship, and F-15 Strike Eagle, Flight Path 737. Look, listen to this, eh? That's cool.
Yeah, I remember electronics school in the mid-90s. Built my first computer with a 20 megabyte hard drive. And I was like, oh, I'll never need any more than this. This is huge.
You got all that space. What are you going to do with it? God.
Yeah,
Nowadays, there's like two pictures.
and then Mike, you have to stop and remember, especially with people that you know were old enough to have remember back that far, and then you stop and consider the thing you have in your back pocket
Yeah,
has more power than probably all of our PCs put together at that point in time.
exactly. Yeah, so Howard, what was the first DOS you used? Mine was 5.0. I imagine you're well before that.
1.0
1.0. Wow,
when it was invented. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it was a tester, yeah. Then certified.
Yeah, I had.
So I used to write 4 to 8 exams a year, you guys, to keep my certifications going.
Oh,
And they were not easy.
Yeah, Icebird. I had GeoS on something. I might have actually had it on the 64. I don't remember now, but I do remember having it.
Herman says. Yeah, that was the official consumer version, 3.1. Actually, 3.0. And then 3.1 was the mass-produced one for everybody. And it wasn't until 3.1.1 that we actually had networking with Windows. Networking. You couldn't even use a network card. First of all, it needed an IRQ and all the rest of it. But we didn't even have networking with Windows 3.1. It was just a standalone.
Windows for Workgroups back then.
Yeah. And Windows 3.1.1 was actually called Windows for Workgroups, right? And it was like that was a big deal. It's like, oh, we can actually see other people's machines now. This is cool. But only in the local room. It was a local network, right? But it was still huge. It was a big advancement. You could actually store different files on different people's computers and get at them. It's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm telling you, the advancements all through the years. I remember when Novell dropped their protocol and favored IPX SPX, which is, IPX SPX back in the day, right? Now they dropped the year that they actually dropped that and favored TCP/IP, which is the common protocol stack nowadays that we've all been using. When Novell did that, executives at the top of Novell quit. They were king of the networks. They were king of servers, Novell back in the day, and I was a Novell specialist engineer. And so when that happened, big things happened. Big things changed, right? All of a sudden, TCP/IP became the protocol of choice, and that's still there today. I don't even think they use IPX SPX anymore. But it was their own protocol stack, right? They used. Yeah, Unix shell for years. Yeah, look at that.
My electronics school was 95 when we we first did our lab on 301 for work group, and then we did the whole school, and like that was the bomb. We got, this whole thing is networked together,
The bomb.
And nowadays it's like, that's no big deal,
Strap had a
Or we
Novell
had
cert too.
LAN parties with a 100 megabit hub.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A hub.
You're right, Mike. Yeah.
I think I still have my first Ethernet hub somewhere in a box. Not switch, hub.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, not a
One
hub.
big collision domain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the way it was back then. And Strap, you were a Novell, his Novell certification too, and we were actually called a Certified Novell Engineer, a CNE. And there was also a CNA, which was an associate, which means you had the entry level. But to be a Novell engineer, you had to have, or at least a lot of us had to have, a Cisco networking certification, or they wouldn't even let us in the door as a consultant. If you didn't know networking from Cisco, you didn't know networking, back in the day. And so, and eventually I helped build the curriculum for the Cisco CNA courses and stuff like that. But it's just fascinating how it evolved, right? Anybody who has a background with Cisco networking would have a great grasp on networking. I mean, it's the most in-depth you'd ever get.
Even to today.
Even today. I mean, it's just, people can do that. They can understand any address scheme. They can troubleshoot anything. And, classless subnetting was the thing that still confused a lot of people if they didn't have in-depth training. And as Ace knows also too, right? But it's something that you look at, people who didn't know about classless subnetting would look at it and go, somebody really messed up your IP addresses here. Let's change all that. And then they would really mess it up because they didn't have a clue why it was the address that it was. It wasn't your conventional addressing. But that's
People's
how we
eyes glaze over. People's eyes glaze over pretty fast in those initial binary lessons.
Yeah, and that was the challenge as a teacher, was to be able to let's teach TCP/IP and let's teach right down to binary level, because you got to get down to binary to build back up into classless subnetting and stuff like that. So we'd have to go and find a way to do that interestingly. You know, how can we make that interesting? Because it's so boring, it's so dry. Let's talk about binary. There's a 1 and then there's a 0. Let's start from there. You know, so people just gloss right over.
And you have to know it, because when you sit for CCNA, you don't get to use a calculator or anything like that. You got to be able to pull the binary out of your head.
And KW says, master of setting up quarter-deck memory manager. Ooh, wow, memory manager. Extended back on DOS, and then the DOS expanded memory manager. I remember that, the DOS expanded memory manager, yeah. Yeah, we've come a long way, you guys. We're so old. There's Super Ty sitting there going, DOS? What are these guys talking about? These old fogies getting into the DOS stuff.
It's old school KW, but it's still used. IPv4 especially. You're going to do all your subnet masking and stuff in binary, which, again, most people could easily just fire up a calculator on a Google search or something and have it spit out what they need. But you can't do that when you sit for the exams.
They have an app on their phone. Yep, but you can't use that.
When you sit for the exams, you have to understand the binary and why it works. And I think my sim just crashed.
World update.
Yep. Hello, desktop.
We knew it would get back to you sooner or later. It's going to come back and bite. For those just joining us, we're just cruising around. We started from Rio and we headed south, looking at new scenery, having some fun, talking about our nostalgic old computer days.
Yeah, KW, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go quantum.
Talking about MS problems. Anyone in chat has a fix for me? MS Outlook Classic asking for the password all the time. Even I am logged in and used. Remember my password in Exchange environment. Yeah, well, Iceberg, Exchange. So for those who are wondering, when he says in an Exchange environment, Exchange is Microsoft's email server. I was a specialist on Exchange, and I went around the country showing others how to get ready for their certification on Exchange, and all the versions of Exchange over the years and its changes and iterations. So Outlook has been a pain from day one. It's the Outlook, Microsoft is the Outlook email client, for those who don't know. Very feature rich, but it started out as an executable that ran on your local PC and connected to your Exchange server. That's how it started. And that's where a lot of the problems were. The Outlook email web browser is the easier way to make sure you can still go and do things without running the client, but it wasn't as feature rich as the client program itself. So the problems here is that it's not remembering his password and it keeps prompting him again and again and again. So it's losing his credentials somehow in the connection. And my guess in that, just my first initial guess on that, is your connection from the client to the server is intermittent and it keeps forgetting who you are because it's intermittent. You don't have a constant ping going on there somehow. But it's an Outlook idiosyncrasy. It's an Outlook problem. And most people would move to other client programs or just do the web browser version, right?
But KW, do they know where they teleported it to? Because isn't that the problem with the whole quantum entanglement thing, that you can have two particles in the universe entangled together, but you don't exactly know where the other one is?
This is pretty cool, Howard. When you were talking a while ago, ATC gave me a traffic advisory, and looking on the radar, it was Andrew. We were both at 2,000 feet.
But you know what the funny part is, Mike? I didn't hear anything about you, and I knew you were there because I had the.
So you're both in Say Intentions right now?
Yeah, that was
cool.
Rio departure 128.9.
Okay.
It was funny. He told me that. And I was like, okay, looking for the traffic. And I look on the radar and I was like, who is that? Oh, it's Andrew.
Interesting. Getting a nice up close and personal view from Dr. No Thumb, you guys, flying the Robinson R66. I think that's what he's flying. At some point he'll give us a nice outside view, but I think that's what he's flying by the looks of it.
What frequency were you on, Mike?
128.9er.
128.9er.
Yeah, when you're saying better security, KW comes with a new layer of complexity that has to be troubleshooted. So, you know, always better, bigger and better. Look out. Skinflints is up ahead. VIP's up ahead. Who else have we got? Who else we got? Lots of you behind me, so I'm doing all right. I'm keeping up. I'm on the right track. I don't see Andrew. I see Mike. So Andrew must be nearby because they're both in conflict, right?
Yeah, Andrew's behind me now.
Aha! Now who's behind Andrew? he was giving me the gears earlier.
Well,
Like,
it's
yeah.
okay.
Someone please help Howard get back on track. Yeah.
I don't see anybody anymore.
Don't see anybody? Why?
I got no tags at all.
No tags at all. Pity.
Tall? Who is a tall?
Pity. Yeah. Who is it all anyway?
I showed on the map we're like 2.5 miles apart. What is 5 the default zone right here?
I might even have to just do like a 360 and let you guys catch up to Mr. Firewall here. I'm in a 172. How can I be ahead? What's with that? I'm going to head into this cove here and see what's going on. This cove right here. Look at this. It's hard to tell over water, you guys. Look at that. Am I going to touch it? Am I 100 feet above? You know, it's like, oof. This is where radar altimeters come in handy. You wouldn't have such a thing inside a 172. It's just too expensive and more weight. But in the bigger planes, you got radar altimeters, and that's always nice. You can see exactly how far you are above the ground, right? The old days, a standard CPU used vacuum tubes. Oh, come on. They never did. So I used to play with the 4-bit. I was telling you about this, you guys. I used to play with in electronics class. I had my digital certification. We used to play with the 4-bit chips, which would then start becoming the computers that we know today, right? And we used to put on the breadboard, which means it's an experimental place where you can plug in wires everywhere you want and try stuff, right? And we had simple instructions, and we used to program them using binary switches, you know, like the PDP-8s and the PDP-11s back in the day when we used to program those. And so it was all binary programming. It was assembler, previous to assembler language, just programming with binary. And so we used to experiment, and we used to actually blow them up. I mean, not kaboom, but we would wire them wrongly or do something wrong in our experimentation, and they would sit there and just smoke in front of us. It's like, oh, smoked another one. You know, teacher, can I have another chip over here? I just smoked my last one. You know, we did this like almost on a daily basis by accident, trying to figure out how to program these things back in the day. Little did I know how much that would grow into such a big industry. I should have. I mean, even back then I invented a risk game out of these chips, electronic risk game, so you didn't have to have all the pieces on the game board, right? Back in the day. And then, you know, if I had known back then how big the industry would get, I would have made more things out of that chip and more things, you know, made computers for people to buy. Who knew? We just didn't have the business savvy back then. We were just playing and having fun, right? And then you just kick yourself now because we were on the cutting edge of making a computer system. I'm going to do a no-flap landing and see how it works. Works all right. Wow, I didn't realize you guys were with me. Look at this. Oops. It's like, where the heck is Howard going? Okay, time to get out of here. Let's see if I can do it. Here comes the challenge, you know. This is it. Not gonna work. Put the wheels down. Ground effect. Ground effect. Just made it. Whew. That was close. If it wasn't for Claude Shannon, we wouldn't be talking. Why is that? I haven't heard of him. Yeah. Well, you know, computer doesn't mean electronic. So the first computer was not electronically powered or electricity powered. So I guess you're talking about the first electrically powered computer. Is that what you're saying? You know, like even before the IBM, right? The IBM, as they call it, right? And one more flap. Look at that, nice effect. You take off another flap and watch it sink. Information theory, okay. Information theory. It's interesting. In all my studies in computer science and all the rest of it, we never heard of them. Computer information theory. What do you think about that, Ace? Information theory. There's a vision jet down there with Ace of Spades. Look at that. Beautiful plane, isn't it? Won't allow prime sub. Oh, because yours hasn't run out? Is that why? KW says, I have some work to do. Nah. Yeah, I'm retired now. I'm tired of studying for exams. I'm tired of all that. Constant, day and night, day and night, day and night. Every single night. Studying, practicing labs, getting my lessons ready. It was a career that took so much time, but it was well paid. But even now, you should research that. Nah, I'll research flying. I'll research the sim. I'll research the fun we're having here on Saturdays and stuff. I'll research my lessons on Tuesdays.
Yeah, you put your time in.
I'm not touching that IT stuff. Yeah, that's like, no, I don't care. And you know, you get that way, you guys, because it's just, you know, your whole life has just been dangled by your career. You get burned out. You just say, that's enough of that crap. Let someone else research it. Let someone else teach it. Let someone else troubleshoot it. You just relax. You know, after flying all through that little area I was flying through, what direction am I headed in now? Okay, let's go this way. Yeah, but these 430, 530 screens are really intuitive. You know, they're blue now, so I must be over water. You guys, it will get better. These screens will show the stuff they're supposed to. We will be able to pop them out into our hardware we have in our home cockpits. It'll come. It'll come. Well, I feel better now, KW. Most don't know who he was. Yeah. Yeah, but it's an interesting statement you mentioned there, right? Information theory? Information theory? You know, it's like, yeah, information technology, information systems, information typically refers to technical computer systems. Information theory, So is that Ace of Spades down there? No, it's Fierce Wolf. Looks like he's in the Vision Jet also. Nice plane. If you guys missed it, there is the VOD for the Vision Jet from our Tuesday lesson. There's also the presentation in PDF form is now available on my Ko-Fi, and you can download it. You can donate as much as you want to help out, but you can go buy the presentation now. It's pretty cool. I'm starting to put more of them up there.
Yeah, that runway doesn't have a lot of distance for the vision. I can
Oh,
tell you
come
that.
on, take the
Kind of did a
challenge.
carrier launch off the end where you fall down towards the water before you start to climb.
So Fierce
Yeah.
Wolf is trying it right now, and Dr. No Thumb's following him. Watch this, see what happens. But it does open up at the end, right? So I guess that's what you did, Ace. You were on the same runway.
I definitely should have eaten a tree. It let me through the tree, so I was able to survive.
Yeah, there's no trees at the end. Surprisingly,
There
we go.
is once you go off that cliff and you drop a bit. There's some trees right down below.
Yeah, but he
He's
pulled
gonna
up really
fall.
nice there.
Oh,
That
you
was
got
a-
up. You
that
got
was a
up.
great one. Way to go, Fierce Wolf. Nice.
You must
Great
have backed
takeoff.
up a little further than I did.
I saw him back right into the trees. He was right against the end of the runway. He took the whole runway to do that. That was cool.
Charles Farmer.
Charles! Holy moly, man. Here I thought you were finally just going to relax and not gift any subs, and look at what you did. Holy smokes. You guys say thank you to Mr. Generous, the most generous person on our stream, who's given away more subs than anybody. Unbelievable. Thank you for that. It supports the channel. It helps us keep going. Amazing. Great coverage there, Dr. No Thumb. Thanks for following that. Seeing him in action, taking off and heading out. I have to say the R66 is a wonderful helicopter to fly in the sim, you guys. I've been using it for crop dusting. That's the helicopter of choice for crop dusting. Although, you know, I guess you can use the H125 too, yeah. Chalks is subscribed now for 38 months. Man, you've been with us for a while, you know? Thank you for your continued support. That's cool. So Skinflints, Psycho, Trajan, Harley, and Pearly all say thanks to Charles Farmer, the most generous person in Twitch, for his support of the stream and helping you guys too. So BIAB, oh you mean BRB? Red. Trying to decipher your Canadian English there. Biabab, Biaba.
Biab.
Biabab. We get it, we're just having fun.
Are you ahead, Howard, or are you behind?
Oh, maybe I'm going the wrong way again. All right, let me see where I am.
I don't know. I don't know what way we're going.
No, we're just
I see
following
you
the
way
coastline.
over there, and then I see
I thought it
everyone
was
else
pretty
way
simple.
over here.
I thought we're just following the coastline, which heads southwest, right?
Yeah, but there's all these islands and stuff, and it's easy to think
Which
you're following a
coastline?
coastline, and then you discover you're.
Because I'm actually
You're
going
not.
west now, and if I go south, I'll be out there in the middle of the ocean. So I'm just going west for the moment, but I'm following the coastline. There's a couple people near me, but I think most are behind.
If you're going west, I think most of us are ahead.
Really?
Yeah, you're on the other side of this island over here.
Oh, okay.
That's why you don't see us.
Yeah, we were supposed to follow the coastline. But, that was the plan.
But yeah, but you went off the coast, over the water, over to an island, and now you're going around the outside of the island over there.
Okay.
So
Looks gorgeous.
You're not on the mainland coast right now.
Looks wonderful. Look at this. Look at that. Aqua waters, like beautiful. Oh, I see. Now I'm flying right into a canyon turn. Isn't this... Yeah, I think Brazil has something called Snake Island. Is it? Is it Snake Island where they have the most amount of poisonous snakes? Or,
Is it in Brazil?
I thought maybe this is where it is. And they don't even let the public on the island. They only let scientists on in a controlled environment.
Wow.
And it's got the most amount of dangerous species of snake, and nobody's allowed on it.
I've heard of it. I just don't know where it
Thought that
is.
was-
I couldn't.
thought that was-
If
Was it
it's one of
made
these
like
islands,
that?
I couldn't tell you which one.
The
Is
highest,
it naturally occurring like that, or did they make it like that?
the highest. Here it is. Here I got a note. My wife sent me this note last night because I was asking her more about details. Right? Has the
I would
highest-
like to know which one it is before I find myself on it, though. 'cause that would be
It's called Snake Island. Has the highest concentration of venomous snakes in the world. So hazardous it's closed to the public with only a few scientists allowed to visit under strict conditions. That's in Brazil.
It is part of the municipality
of Intenheim in the state of Sao Paulo. It's called Ilha de Queimada Grande.
Easy for you to say.
Actually, probably not terribly far from it then.
Let's see, where
So
is it?
KW says, ready for this link? Nah. The rest can follow it, but go ahead and post it if you want, KW.